Hey there guys, and welcome to my new series, where I bring to light some of the most unique achievements in RuneScape history. We all play a game with such a unique platform to the point where there's almost too much variation, resulting in few to none that can truly appreciate the caliber of certain feats and achievements. Which is where I'll come in, to pose as the intermediary between the wider RS community and to those few who have achieved so much yet received so little in return for the obscurities that they've overcome. In this series, I'll depict the journey that these particular players went through to get to where they are today, and exactly how they did so. It's about time I return to my roots, back to the series we started so many years ago over on CoCast Live, co-hosted by one of my very close friends, Rendimento, or widely known now as Rendy. In today's episode, we'll be showcasing a defense pure widely known in his respective community, going by the alias Zarge. Now, Zarge began his journey on Oldschool Runescape around the Christmas holidays in the year 2014, where he ran into a defense pure training at monks at the monastery. He quickly understood what he was doing, which in turn piqued his interest to the point where he decided to make his own account. Zarge then found himself compelled by the build completely, consuming over 169 hours of gameplay in a little over a week. As Zarge spent more time within the community, he became more knowledgeable on the intricacies of training and realized that by reaching above 43 strength bonus, he could increase his rates automatically by 33%. This could be achieved by both a fighter torso and or dragon boots. And I would also like to mention that it is possible now and back then to achieve 51 strength bonus at as little as 40 defense, increasing your max hit to 3, speeding up training exponentially. Although back in 2014 this would have been unrealistically attainable for 99.9% of the player base. In early 2015, after achieving 75 defense, Zarge then shifted his focus over to Bounty Hunter, where you could make an incredible amount of GP by stacking both the Venom and DFS special attack, maxing 45s in the height of Venom mechanics. At the time, people didn't really understand what they were going up against, and at such a low level you were virtually impossible to kill. Following a couple months of Bounty Hunter and various pieces of content that didn't require combat, Zarge then decided he'd attempt to take his account all the way to 99. Now before this lengthy grind would ensue, he wanted to get all of the nitty-gritty content out of the way, such as Slayer and all the unlocks that come with it. By 42 kill count, Zarge had already achieved his KBD heads in preparation for the grind towards the Slayer helm, and Slayer at this time in RuneScape history was no walk in the park. What knowledge we had today hadn't yet come to fruition to the wider community during mid-2015, so Slayer was done through blood, sweat and tears. Zarge ended up doing 9 tasks using Turiel, and on the 10th he'd use Vanica in order to get the 10th task bonus from the Master. Now in total, this resulted in 207 tasks using Turiel and the remaining 23 using Vanica, granting him access to both Broader Fletching and the fabled Slayer Helm. Now that both Slayer is complete and Broader Fletching is achieved, Zarge had the plan to complete both 99 defense and Fletching at the exact same time. Though this would not be an easy feat, as back in 2015, pest control wasn't optimized as it is today, and all he had access to was the novice boat, granting 2 PC points per game. Now, to add fuel to the fire, this was probably the lowest point in regards to population in RS history. There were little to no updates and very few concurrent players online. This meant that he would have to wait a few minutes for a boat to even leave the dock for most of the day, disregarding peak hours. Pest control was fortunately made a little easier following the release of the Kandarin headgear in mid-2015, as it increased the logs received from cutting a regular tree from 1 to 2. This meant that overcrowding from other restricted accounts wouldn't cause you to resort to banking for logs every game. Throughout this strenuous journey, Zarge managed to complete a whopping 18,000 pest control games after reaching 40 combat, resulting in 99 defense at as little as 43 combat. Following such an admirable achievement, Zarge just wasn't quite ready to give up. In early 2016, Zarge had his eyes set on the inconceivable, a one-prayer fire cape post-patch with little to no public information. And remember, this was all the way back in 2016, where there were only a select few individuals that even had the capability of achieving this task, following the patch of spawn manipulation on the 6th of August 2015. Shortly after some in-depth research and calculations, Zarge then decided to train all the way from 74 to 84 hit points in order to have a pseudo failsafe when facing Jad, giving him the capability of brewing above his max hit. During his lengthy grind towards 84 hit points, Zarge made use of his time by gathering intel on the recent discoveries in regards to further possible manipulations to spawn patterns. He then came across the player known as Frosty, who with the help of a number of well-respected capers at the time to formulate a script that would determine every single spawn after Wave 2, according to one of 15 individual spawns. Zarge then used the script to format his own particular route, which gave him the ability to tank both the 90s and 180s, reducing the margin of error exponentially. Fortunately for him, during his grind he had access to the Serpentine Helm, which would inflict venom using its ability known as Envenom, which was later realized and changed on the 25th of May 2017, as the effect would work as long as the NPC was in combat with you. And finally, through the help of another memorable defense pure known as Defiled, Zarge discovered the difference between sound cues for tick heating on both the 360s and Jad. And to those who would like to see the particular script for historical purposes, I will leave a link in the description. However, if you want to actually utilize this in a little easier format, you can simply rely on the RuneScape wiki, who have kindly interpreted the spawns in a visual friendly way. And without further ado, we'll let Zarge take center stage. Following Zarge's journey post-Firecape, he had truly not taken his foot off the gas. He had achieved both 99 defense and a 1-prayer Firecape, and he had one final push to cement his place as one of the first defense pures to reach the coveted 99 hit points. So he got to work. Zarge was optimistic about his upcoming grind, and he had his clan, the Def CC, to back him. With motivation garnered from all corners, he was ready to get underway. Now, fortunately for Zarge, there had already been one player to achieve this feat, known as 99 Patience, so he theoretically could grasp the amount of real time this grind would actually take him. And following that note, 99 Patience was also banned shortly after receiving both 99 defense and HP for the offense of real-world trading, although some speculate it was actually just for botting. In the end, Zarge stuck it out at pest control for another 22,150 games, resulting in 44,300 pest control points, completing one of his final true goals to perfect his build.
I just want to thank everyone who has helped me through the grind, and I would probably never achieve something like this if it hadn't have been for our friends, and especially the Def CC, which is a clan I've been in since day one.
In the end, Zarge managed to complete his final goal of maxing his defense pure, all within just over 2 years of gameplay. He managed to achieve what nobody had done before, and he paved the way for many to follow in his stead. He then decided that he'd go for the realistic max total level of his account, which is 1750. Now this covers all non-combat 99s excluding Slayer and obviously defense and HP. He trickled away at his non-combat stats over the following year, as he only had around 500 EHP until max anyway, as he took a few breaks between his pest control grind. And as of today, this is a result of his sheer effort and determination. A completely maxed defense account, bar 99 Slayer. Following the year 2018, Zarge hadn't been playing much anymore, a little bit here and there while tinkering with certain mechanics to try and figure out ways around what was thought to be impossible. Zarge then managed to formulate his own little method in dealing with Glod during the quest Grim Tales, which was considered at the time completely out of reach. After the completion of a various array of tasks such like this, he discovered limited CC, where he later became a member of the HPQ. As of today, Zarge doesn't play as much as he used to, but he still remains a part of both the management team behind the DefCC and frequents activity on Discord. Zarge's account and all of his achievements truly have stood the test against time. With new methods and mechanics discovered every day, the market for these unique achievements will forever become more diverse. Players will always strive for more and more, and with all that said, Zarge is one of few that will still stand on top. If you guys enjoyed today's video, I would really appreciate both a subscription and a comment on how you guys liked the format of the new series. I feel like these dedicated videos to one particular player's account and or achievements will hopefully shed some light on the sheer difficulty of some of the feats they've achieved, articulated in a way that we can all understand. If you guys have any suggestions on who I should showcase next, leave a comment down below. Alternatively, you can also contact me on my Twitter at MaulerOSRS, which will be up on screen and linked in the description. And without further ado, I hope you guys have a lovely day.
And don't forget, Mauler sends his regards, you feel me?